Hello guys, I have another video that I wanted to make inspired by other YouTubers' comments. I see in a lot of other YouTube videos a lot of people saying things such as this thingy and this thingy and this round part here. And so what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to attempt to do, is kind of doing an anatomy of a Zippo video. Now, I'm not going to name all the parts because there's, I think there's 20 something parts in a Zippo. But I'm going to name some of the basic parts. I'm going to take this Zippo apart, and I'm actually going to show you what's inside of it in case anybody's wondering. I've actually seen questions on what's a wick, what's a flint, and things like that. So if you know this already, hey, this is going to be a boring video. Don't watch it. But other than that, this is one of my older Zippos. I don't have the date with me right now. I forget. It's I can look this up. Let's see if I can get this there. I believe this is the one with 2 straight lines on each side. I can look in the date code. I don't remember. I think it's 60 something. I think it's around the 60s. So let's try this out. And I still don't have a tripod, but oh well. We work with what we can here. So I'm just gonna place this on the table and get started. But before we get started, the tools I'm using are a Leatherman Wave multi-tool and my Swiss Army knife, my Wenger, not Victorinox, my Wenger Swiss Army knife, just for the sharp pointed awl, and I'll need that for restuffing some of the rayon. So let's go. First thing I'm going to do is open the case. For those that don't know, this is the case. This is the lid. In here, you have a bent piece of metal, and that bent piece of metal wraps around and is welded onto the bottom of the case. That's the hinge. This is the outside of the hinge, and inside there is a the hinge pin. Here's your insert. On the insert, you have your flint wheel, which is this black thing. You have a flint, which you'll get a better view of when I take this thing apart. You have your cam, which is this bone-shaped thing. I don't even know what shape you would call that. Cam-shaped, but it's this thing right here. Under it, you have a little piece of metal called the cam spring, which keeps tension on this cam. The purpose of this cam, fold it back down here. Come on, there we go. The purpose of the cam, in case you don't know, it keeps the lighter open, and it also keeps it closed when it's in your pocket. It flips up and down to keep the lighter open and closed. Let me readjust the camera here. Alright, what we have here is the felt pad. This felt thing right here, this is lift to fill, is the felt pad. And this is the flint screw. I'm going to take my Leatherman, just for the flathead screwdriver. I'm going to take the flint screw out. Kind of hard to do this through the camera viewfinder, sorry. You have your flint screw on the end, flint spring, and a spacer. This is not a flint. Some people confuse this to be a flint. This isn't a flint. It's a spacer. Oh! And out fell my flint. That's what your flint looks like. Well, as you can tell, I'm not doing this on an exactly level surface. But, well, you get the idea what the flint looks like. I'm going to move it off to the side. I am going to take the wave again. Felt pad came out. And in here you have your stuffing, which are rayon balls. They look like cotton, and for all intents and purposes they are cotton, except I believe they're synthetic cotton. And there you have your rayon balls and your wick. And I'm going to take those out and show you what those look like. Rayon ball. By the way, this is a brand new insert. This is the one. This is one of the lighters I got back from repair, from when I sent my lighters in for repair. So this is a brand new insert. I took it apart once already, just to make sure everything was all set to make this video. But I've never lit it or anything. I've never even put fuel in it. I'm gonna try to just pull this wick right out the bottom. Yep. Okay. Here's your wick. Very long. That's what she said. But very long wick that if your wick gets burnt, you can always pull it up. Most people don't know that you have this much wick in your Zippo, but they're 4-inch wicks. Another rayon ball. Another rayon ball. And another rayon ball. And I'm not going to take the ones behind the tube out because they're a bit of a pain to get in and out. But there are 1 or 2 more rayon balls behind the flint tube. That's what this thing is. This is the flint tube. That's where your flint goes. You can see all the way through. The light that you're seeing is coming from the top of the Zippo. This spot with the holes is called the chimney. This is called the pin, the bit that holds the flint wheel on there. It's called the pin. It's either the flint wheel, some people call it the spark wheel. So that's what's inside your Zippo, in case anybody's wondering. They don't want to break anything by taking it apart. And they're very, very simple once you open them up. Not much involved with them. And then all you do to put them back together is, this is where this all comes in from my Swiss Army knife, is you take a rayon ball. They don't have to go in any order. It doesn't matter how you took them out or put them back in. It really doesn't at all. But you take a rayon ball. Actually, we need to put the wick in there. We can't forget about the wick now. This is also helpful if you're going to change a wick if it becomes all burnt. And this is sometimes a little bit of a pain. But you take your wick and you stick it through the hole. Okay, and I actually got it on the first try. You stick it through the hole so it's sticking out the top a little bit. You take your pliers and you pull it up. And there you go. It's a little bit frayed now because of the pliers. But you can either cut that off so it's not frayed or just deal with it. It's not going to really affect anything that much. You take your wick, you move it all the way over to one side. And it's all moved over. You take a rayon ball, you stick it in there. And you take the awl, and you press it down there real tight. Another rayon ball. Stick it in there. And now that I have 2 in there, I'm going to take this wick and I'm going to fold it back over so I'm interweaving it in between the rayon balls. Now it's all folded over to the other side. Stick another rayon ball in there. And now that it's in there that much, I'm going to actually just use the pliers to press that down really tight. Another rayon ball. And the last rayon ball. But before I put this last one in, I'm once more going to put the wick over to the other side. Really jam that in there so it's nice and tight. All your packing's all tight. Sometimes it requires a little force to get it in because this cotton is I even said cotton, I'm getting confused sometimes, but this rayon is fluffy, so you really got to stick it in there to get all those balls back in. And here's the flint that came out earlier. Put the flint in, put your felt pad back in. Take your flint spring and spacer and flint screw, put that in, tighten it, little tip for anybody who doesn't know: to get that tight or loose, you can use your lid, but I generally don't do this because I don't want to hurt the finish, but this one I don't really care. And then what you do is put it back in there. And after you re-wick this, or you take the wick out for any reason, you might want to pull the wick up a little bit and then snip it off so you don't have it all frayed, and so it's nice and even with the chimney. Close the lid, and there you go. Your Zippo is back and in working order. Again, it's not full, but if you did fill it, it'd be back in working order. So I hope this helps you understand the anatomy of a Zippo, a little bit about what's inside of them and how they work. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.